Hello everyone, and welcome to the Week 7 Platinum Ruination for the GRLCS. I am Asami, and I am with Genovici. And the first game that we have is going to be Reign of Kings versus the Ponchos, of course. And, well, I'm looking very forward to this. I wasn't able to catch the streams last week due to some unfortunate events. But I'm happy to actually be back again.
Yep, and it's nice to have you back as well, as we're looking at a 5-man potential invade from Reign of Kings. Moving quite yet, but they do have a Trundle dancing, and Leona is pretty good level 1. Do have a chance to make it for. I'm curious how long they'll wait for this. If it's just that they're waiting for a very late 5-man invade, when Poncho wouldn't be quite ready for it.
Yeah, I feel like they might just be waiting around, hoping that maybe they want to do that kind of late invade. And obviously, I think on the side of Reign of Kings, they 100% win. Or I think really they might even just try to force away the Trundle from his blue buff, since they have the stronger fight here. And yeah, that's exactly what they're gonna do actually.
Yeah, are going to be looking in the late invade. Poncho see them now level up from E from Medcop with the Misfortune Rain over it, and that's the slow, that's the double flash away from the Lilia. Chase them off, aren't going to commit any farther, but this will almost certainly be a blue buff steal, and it is for Hostega. He could flash over the wall, he just got a double tag. Renji has E-skilled, they stuck around too long, he's going to be able to go over Archie's Ignite though, and it's actually Duxter who gets the first blood with a flash as well, burn from Renji.
Yeah, and that's kind of this communication. Bad Cop could have gone back in with his E. He did have it 100% back up. So you could tell Renji was just like, we can get this first blood, like right here, right now. But, the team was just discommunicated, and then a lot more damage coming out sent Renji just was straight up in their face. So the Ignite, along with the last auto, enough to take him out. And now Renji is kind of just that mid laner who's like in the one position you don't want to be, without TP, without flash, and kind of an easier gank now. And you can even see that Archie's is just going to go ahead and do a counter invade straight from the red buff over to blue.
Yeah, is going to be opposite sides of the map as they do hit level 2 first. Not too much you can do to Aftershock Alistair. And Ipedus is going to get some damage back up. But yeah, just split mapping now. Trundle taking the blue quadrant. And then you go back to hers. Might have been able to run back that way after Gromp, trying to keep her camps from being taken, set Trundle even further behind. But she is already a camp ahead. And how do you think things are going to work from this point with the interesting start so far?
Well, it's could be a worse in a sense. Well, they could have lost the blue buff as well, but on the bright side of things, you can see that Renji's not doing too poorly. His flash is about almost halfway through to being back up. Really, Duckster and Archie's, I would have thought maybe even bring up EFAM just to try and make some kind of play, really punish this Silas for having his teleport down. But maybe I've just been watching a lot of the pro scenario where they're like, all right, flash is down, let's punish the living daylights out of this person now. And when you have a very aggressive bot lane like the Leona, like the Misfortune, which can really do a lot of damage onto you as a Shamira, or as the Alistar as well. I mean, you want to kind of make something happen here.
Yeah, and here is the gank mid through the pillar. Nice touch away from Renji. Manages to get out of the charm, and I anticipate that's a bit why they aren't putting too much focus in, because Silas is still a mobile champion. It's not like he's going to be going on too many all-ins to give you an opportunity with his summoner being down. Just an engaged bot lane. Ipedus is going to go in, exhaust onto Wit. He is going to be sent up by the Alistair flash away. Ipedus flashes forward as well, but had Leona's exhaust on him, and that means Bad Cop is going to pick up the kill off the overextension. FM now trying to get away, does have the knock-up headbutt, so Stega is here. Barely misses out the Q, so probably will not have enough damage, even with the red buff. But that cop is looking, just gets the Dark Harvest proc and will Prince back towards his jungle.
Yeah, and that's Lavin is just kind of having that small mindset of like, okay, I just need one more auto, but there's no ignite ticking away. If EFAM gets that ignite off onto Wit at the beginning, that's an easy kill, and really, I think both can get away very quickly. Obviously, the exhaust onto Lavidus also was, onto Lavidus by Bad Cop was so good to really confirm that kill. And now the Fortune has the kill, has the CS lead, a very big CS lead at that with 16 already, coming into 6 minutes. And really, Lilia came down there and wasn't able to do anything, which is the only bad part about it all. But nonetheless, I mean, you could tell like that's the kind of bot lane that you want. An aggressive bot lane, aggressive response.
Yeah, does get a Dark Harvest proc, but here Archie's is going to be going down, double headbutt onto Whip. He is super duper duper dead. No way to get away after the combo. Feel like they should have saved the pillar for Bad Cop. Archie's used that to quadruple down on Wit being dead, but once you have that done, he is definitely going to fall. Could have gone for Bad Cop instead. He did have Flash, could have made him Flash to Ari. But in the end, it is just a nice punish from Ponchos to get rid of that MF that you were just talking about.
Yep, no flash, no heal is an easy kill, especially when you bring down 3 members. Obviously, Duckster does invest a flash to try and get another kill onto support, but unable to really do that. But it's not like it's the end of the world. You at least get the supports flashed down too, which now means Bad Cop can't be as aggressive. Obviously, with the Hex Flash, he can still be just that. But I mean, it's going to be quite interesting. And well, speaking of interesting, that was an interesting predicament to find yourself in if you're MH Dev there.
Yeah, they looked like they were gonna go for that dive Reign of Kings where they had 3 on the top side. Not the biggest wave stacked up by Jack Love's Lamp, but they decide against going for it at all, which makes me kind of wonder why they pulled Silas. Maybe they were worried about a gank on Jack Love's Lamp. Do have to be careful once Camille hits 6 and Trend the Pillar can actually give you a launching point for your hook shot. As we do see a mini engaged by Bad Cop, probably won't do too much more. And with stepping forward to do damage is going to get comboed by Elfum. Exhaust goes down, but he is going to be stunned up. Ignite is on. FM picks up the kill, and Iapetus got to be careful about this Samira Alistair kill lane.
Yep, and as I mentioned earlier, the Ignite was there this time, and Bad Cop has to know that something is not right, and he does, but he notices just late.
Yeah, meanwhile, flash forward on the bot side from FM. Bad Cop is very dead as Archie's came from behind tower. Nice run from him. Renji erects a bit too late. Now they are stuck in between two, though. Jack Loves Lame does have TP on the Poppy, and he is going to start coming in. FM does have 6, so can't really go for him to target, but he is the most convenient stun. Double knock up from the Poppy, butt charm over the wall from the Ari means that he will go down. Traded 1-for-1 so far. Renji flashing back away. TP from Camille. MH Death coming in, getting the hook shot. Now Wit trapped under tower. Archie's backing off. Will take another shot, so will be him going down. And Iapetus actually took aggro a bit too long. Bit of a misjuggle, but it will still end up being a 2-for-3 in favor of the Ponchos.
Yeah, and I don't think we touched on it. Did Ebam died as well earlier? So really, it was a 3 for.
3 for
I guess
4
like 3 for
because
4.
Caught died. Yeah. So
Yeah.
overall,
So it was
4 for 3. A lot of TPs, or all the TPs went down. Lots of flashes as well. Hastega is a happy benefactor of this, being able to get a solo lane and a couple of plates. And because MH Death went down, did lose the minions that were pushing into tower, so he's behind quite a bit of CS. Renji does have to be careful. Now the combo from FM, Hex Splash out of the bush. Renji trying to cut away, will get stunned up, probably as Kingslayer soon to get a bit of sustain back. Tuxter just out the charm, and I don't think you get this kill. Renji's gonna have it up, and yeah, FM pops the ult, which I guess he didn't use bot lane, and ends up backing up again. Now Archie's gonna be face checking. Hastega picks him up, stun into the wall with the sleep damage is gonna come down. One more Q from Hastega would finish him. Gets him with the auto. Now the Hextech ultimatum, but MHF is now stuck in a 1v2. Hastega not gonna commit anymore. Jack might be looking for stun under tower. And then it's gonna be a tag, so I'm gonna have to be a bit careful. But just gonna look for the shield auto, and nice extra kill picked up top lane for Reign of Kings.
Yeah, and you just touched on it before. The Lily was just top lane. The Lily was like, what is going on down there, guys? Why is everyone dying? Why am I getting no kills? This is no fun. You know what? You, Trundle, you're my kill. I've taken my anger out on you. And you can tell, that was just a slow lullaby. And so, easy kill, easy pickup for Hastega there. And I think Jack got the assist as well, due to the, what was it, a 2-man ultimate, correct? So it was very nice. He keeps his jungler alive there too, so they're able to get that. The jungler has a lot of money, more than likely, in her pockets, so Hastega has to be just like relaxing, sitting in the back, like, you know, this is the life of a peaceful lullaby, though.
Yeah, I'm curious on how much gold Hastega has, actually, because looking at inventory, he has absolutely no items, but he has 82 farm and a kill. I'm guessing he's on some pretty monstrous gold amount. Feel like you want to be backing sooner than picking up this much gold. Not sure what the kind of timers were that prevented him from doing so, but you do want to be as strong as possible for as long as possible. As Jack, with the health advantage from the 2v2, is going to be able to back now with a 26 CS lead and another wave loss to tower. MH Death not having the most fun time. Poppy, of course, is decent in a Camille because you never get to hookshot her in any universe at all. But yeah, now the top side is very far down, 90 CS each for Reign of Kings, 65 average for the Ponchos, and it's not like it gets too much better, though Camille will start scaling. Trundle is always useful in team fights. We'll see how they manage to try and come back in that.
Yeah, and on the first back finally that we see, it is the Liandry's Anguish coming out. So that just kind of shows how much money Hastega was sitting on to go from just a simple book to, yeah, I got it all. So he's sitting comfy, and it looks like there's going to be yet again another fight going on, but Renji's low. So, yeah, they just gotta give it up. Or
Yeah, but
not.
now FM is going to be engaging onto Wit, but they see Bad Cop in the bush, and now there is no follow-up whatsoever. Of course, it is an Alistair, so he's tanky. The MF and Leona ulting over the wall. That's a nice zoning to keep the 3 away, and Archie's had to commit, went down. Flashed in from Iapetus, does manage to finally get the ult up after being exhausted and stumped up. Now asleep, though, snipe from Histega. He has his items done, and he is ready to use them. Won't commit any farther towards Dexter, but it is a 2 for 3 in favor of Reigning Kings.
Yeah, and I just have to say, Wit had a great zoning ultimate with the Bulletstorm there. And, I mean, obviously, if Iapetus does end up getting in front of him, he can deny most of it. But because he's behind everyone else, he wasn't able to really block it all. And then EFAM and the rest of Pontos, they were just so discommunicated there. EFAM wanted to go in, the rest of the team was pulling away, however. So EFAM goes down, and then Iapetus is like, all right, I gotta try and make something out of this now. We can't just give it up for free. And he's able to kind of do a lot of work, but then, you know, Wit's still alive. He gets the double tap, along with, you know, Hastega just burning away on everyone that comes in his way.
Yeah, and it does make me wonder what Archie's, as Jack is very, very caught here. Nice steadfast presence will keep Evan away, but he is in a 1v4, knocks out the Alistair, but here comes Iapetus, finishes him off. But going back to the fight of it, makes me wonder what Archie's used Pillar on, because that is an amazing ability against MF ult. If she ever uses it, just put a Pillar on her, and you can cancel it basically immediately every time in every fight. So probably something you want to be saving for that, as also something to note, Wit is not going for the very common at Worlds MF lethality build that we've been seeing. Instead, looking at crit fully, which is, I guess you do have an Alistair and a Trundle to cut through, might be, and with the Samira wind wall as well, kind of hard to get those full channel good ults. So looking for a bit more auto DPS as opposed to just cutting a team off in the wombo.
Yeah, you pointed it out. The Misfortune Lethality is a very common build now. Especially, I think, like Yomu's or Eclipse is usually one of the first items. Yomu's is just a really good item. And so, I mean, you get it, and it immediately makes you strong.
Now alone against Duckster, he tried to clear the ward, pushing alone. You are not allowed to do that as an AD carry, especially when there is a mobile assassin like Ari on the other team, and it will be a solo kill plus shutdown for Duckster.
Yeah, I don't, I don't know exactly what the communication for Wit was there. I mean, I guess Wit just thought Ari no ultimate, so you know he was safe. But Duckster, he used it really calmly. He waited for the W to be used so that he could actually connect with it. And once it did connect, Wit kind of was just like, all right, I'm 100% dead. I can't do anything now. So really nice job by Duckster to be patient with it, not use the W almost immediately after going in, which, you know, a lot of Aris commonly would do.
Yeah, and it is just wondering for me what Reigning King's lane assignments fully are. Most of the time at this point of the game, as we can see what Ponchos are doing, you want to put your bot lane in mid, give your support more roaming opportunity, keep your ADC safer against people whose items are starting to come in. But instead they've been keeping 2 bot, trying to pressure tower, but kind of hard for Wit to do that when there's so much mobility and or crowd control to catch him out. So it's kind of just getting him nowhere. Also of note is that Jack is going for a Bommies item in the top lane. Poppy can actually go Divine Sunder really effectively. Short cooldown on her Qs. You like the shield autos, those can start to really hurt with the Sheen, but that'll make him a lot less good at dueling Camille as it gets later in the game. He won't have the sustain to keep up. Guess it will make him a better frontline, but when you're also up against Trundle, you're giving him more stats to steal. So a bit curious on why he decided not to go for that Divine Sunder.
Yeah, and you know, you're pointing out the Divine Thunder. 2 of the Ponchos have it. Obviously, the Camille does. Commenting.
Yeah, just a little engage onto Bad Cop will get his slash away, but that is a 2-man E from his Stega. Doesn't decide to drop Wilting will by Wit having already used his bullet time. Not able to get that very fun combo where MF ult counts as a dot, so if you put people to sleep, MF won't break it, so they're just forced to sit there under the whole duration. Could have been fun to see that, but that does mean that MF ult is down. For this fight, he flashed over from Bad Cop, gets charmed immediately, doesn't have to be able to get Aftershock. Duster's true damage finishes him off. It is now 4v5 going into the Baron, but Renji has the Alistar ult that can make him incredibly tanky, but they decide not to contest, and it will be soul point for Honcho. Nice denial with the set effect presence from Jack. Quick fingers nice FM, and it will just be that 1+ dragon. Unless they're wanting to keep going. Charm does land on his Sega, but nice stun over the wall. Jack manages to shut down Duxter. Now they're going to be looking to continue the fight. The E will land from his Sega, does decide to commit the ulti, but MH Death manages to get over the wall. Flash forward from Renji. He does have the Alistar ult, trying to stay alive. Will burn down eventually, but manages to go 1-1 with MH Death. On the other side, Jack is trying to run away. There goes the ult from Iapetus, trying to chase forward. Alistar Ignite will burn down Jackal's Lamp on the backside, but that does not matter when it is a 2-for-4 overall. Maybe make it 5, as that's a bit of a greedy recall. Triple kill from Histega and ace for Reign of Kings.
Yeah, and that is just a little bit too greedy. They took the dragon. They really didn't have to take it because Bad Cop was down. So you take the dragon, you get what you want, you know? That's pretty good. And then you get super greedy going for the Silas. And the second they commit, they're in the wrong side of town. You have Jack Loves Lamb, who uses his ultimate perfectly. Renji keeps himself alive with the King Slayer. And, you know, Hastega keeping his Wilting Lullaby for chasing down. So good. Obviously, Renji does end up trading his life to take out MHS as well. But because of all of this going on, the one person who's not being focused is the misfortune. So Wit's able to get all the damage he needs to really provide in that team fight, while Iapetus and the rest of the team are kind of fighting on a back foot, and Shamira doesn't like to do that at all. She wants to go in. She wants to take control, not be the one being controlled in a fight.
Yeah, even flashed over at the end with the Infernal Trigger, as you saw, just getting ready to try and get something done in the fight. Was very lost by then, as with that ace, Reign of Kings managing to get the mid tower, get some gold up, only a 2k lead, and with a soul point on soul as powerful as the ocean, Ponchos won't be feeling too bad about their position in the game, but definitely one where you don't want to be continuing to make those kind of overforced and unforced errors.
Yeah, and you know, if you do end up making these errors when you have the three, excuse me, when you have the three three dragons already up, and then you give up 4 back to back, and it's the ocean of all things. We all know just how terrible dealing with the ocean soul in general is, but then you just have the normal ocean dragon, then ocean soul. That just makes it much worse to try and deal with. Very volatile, and immediately that would put Shamira in a spot to just have to wait for a perfect fight instead of just being like, all right, we have 2 people here, let's take out these 2, and then we can just fight whenever. And, you know, she doesn't want to do that in the first place. She just wants to fight.
Yes, meanwhile Jack is getting caught off trying to walk down the river, no one able to come up. Is channeling his ults, we will knock away the Alistar, but Dexter has a lot of damage against Jack, doesn't have a lot of MR, will be able to chase him off, does trade ult for it, 1-for-1, and Jack does have TP. It's not the most Baron threat, and in the meantime Renji is pushing out side lane. But it does make me kind of concerned about Reign of King's chances. They don't win in sides against Camille and Ari when she's this fed, both are very mobile. So it's not like you can force on them, especially as a Poppy. The rest of their comp is pretty good as well, because you have easy disengage with Alistar, Trundle, all-ins as well, with Iapetus getting very strong. He's at his 2 items. Horizon Focus now down from Duxter, so if anyone gets caught in a charm, they are almost certainly dead, even if you are tanky, as long as there is more than 1 or 2 members around when he does so. And it's just going to be hard. Do have tools, of course, with a lot of good team fighting between the Lilia, MF, Leona, So probably best to try and force there, but in side lanes they're getting hard outscaled as this game goes on.
Yeah, and one thing that's kind of stayed the common factor is the Fortune and the Chimera. They're both on even footing, basically. One has the upgraded boots while the other does not. But if you take away the upgraded boots from MF and just give her normal boots, you immediately have a BF sword. So both are pretty evenly matched up. Come gold wise, the biggest gap that we see is just in the jungle. I mean, 5-0-4 on someone who is not going to slow down. And
Yeah, as meanwhile, Renji's forcing really hard, has the Alistar ult, trying to get onto IPTC, will try and dash back through, but goes down. Wit manages to slay him. Jack in the back line, though, does go down. FM popping the ult, trying to be a front line, but they managed to get on Duckster as well. His Ariel hasn't come up quite yet, now does, but it's a bit too late. He goes down, double kill. There's the sleepy bullet time. Wit going across on everyone, Hastega making it easy. Triple kill for Wit, soul point denied, and Reign of Kings in full control of this game.
Renji had the biggest, bravest play I have ever seen. The second he knows that the Chimera does not have the wind wall up anymore means it's go time. He takes that moment to know we can do whatever we want. That's a 20-second cooldown. He goes for it and succeeds on it. Just so beautifully well done. And from there, you can see Iapetus again had to try and make something out of nothing. And he got shredded down once he was CC'd just the one time. So if Iapetus has no one to really try and go with to be this aggressive ADC, it's over from there. The only thing you're going to be doing is just watching Iapetus go in, get to that second rank, and then die.
Yeah, and it is a bit rough though, because he does have both summoners up at the end of the fight. Didn't exhaust the Silas, didn't flash over the wall, instead getting back in, so he went down, and team was trying to come help him, but that just put them in a worse spot. And now Reign of Kings do have the Baron, that makes their 1-3-1 with double TP up a lot more threatening. Of course, you do have to be really careful. Trundle Pillar can set up Alistar and Ahri both for some really, really easy picks. And now they're kind of looking for a wraparound. Wit is going to be exposed, but no one's quite there yet. Is going to flash over the pillar. That leaves Bad Cop now probably looking to go back in. No follow for him. Quite yet gets headbutted straight into Duckster, so he will get burst down. Bullet time on top, though, with the Leona ult. Dash away from Duckster does manage to get out. That's a big, big sleep. That's a 4-man sleep from Hastega. That's going to get everyone. Wit goes on a rampage, pushing forward. That's a double. He is going to crit down MH Death for yet another triple. Duckster able to get out, but yet another fight from Reign of Kings will mean that they now have a clear shot towards the enemy mid inhib.
Yeah, Hastega is taking over this rift right now. I'm not sure if this is Hastega or if this is just Tarzan on another account, because my goodness, he is dominating this game. He is dominating the Platinum League for the GRLCS, and it's pretty fair to say he has been the one guy who's just consistently like, playmaker? Yeah, I'm a playmaker. A leader? Absolutely. And a dream crusher, as we can see from his stat line.
Yeah, and that will be mid inhib, then a nice easy rotation down for the bot tier 2. That leaves you in great position to take enemy jungle, get ward set up for the dragon spawning in about 2 minutes. So not too soon, but that will give you time to get your Baron reset off, spend all of your gold. That's going to be Infinity Edge for Wit. That's going to be 2 items done for Silas. Astega as well, sitting on a fully stacked magic. He's going to be really hard to deal with. And just a really nice fight from Reign of Kings, leaves them in control. They will have mid inhib down, which isn't too difficult to deal with, but it is a nice pressure point to allow them to try and get yet more gold on the sides.
Yeah, and I do want to point out now the gold lead is a lot more massive in the bot side and in the jungle, obviously. We look at Archie's, and he's not doing anything wrong. Like, he's doing what he can. But, and, you know, we appreciate that from him, you know, as a Trundle lover. We love to see him do what he can. But, like, he has one item. You look at Hastega, he's sitting on 4. Like, that's insane enough. Okay, I thought he was gonna pull the trigger there. I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah, meanwhile, FM though does use Headbutt, manages to save his Pulverize, but tag on the Lilia slow. Won't go for it, but they do have very easy access to topside. Get that last inner tier 2 tower. Wit able to very easily shred it down. Now they have a wave coming in. Still curious on what Image Death is doing. Only now starting to back. Might be able to push forward pretty hard, but you do have the wave clear from Duxter. So we'll just be Reign of Kings, claiming their free outer tower, and probably looking to run down and start up that dragon.
I don't know
As,
about that
oh,
one.
Bad Cop almost goes in too far. Good thing the tower's down. Doesn't have to walk back through that. And they will just kind of corral Ponchos back into their base. And now start heading towards the drag. But Image Death does have a nice flank position as this fight gets started.
Yeah, but you could tell they're just putting themselves in such a good position to stay safe. Like, all right, they're coming up, we're good. They're really positioning themselves in a position where they just can't lose a fight, no matter where they may be from. So, really good positioning, and this should be a free Drake. There's no reason to fight.
Yeah, and now Ponchos is a bit split off. They are going to be looking for a bad cop, but he manages to land the E over the wall. That's going to force the ult out from Duxter. Pillar from Archie's will section people off, and that will be the Camille able to get onto the back line. No one yet. They're looking for a Stega, trying to shut him down, trying to get rid of his Medjais, but he's going to flash over. They couldn't finish on the other side. That's a bullet time from Wit. Archie's finally gets the shutdown, but at what cost? Rest of his team, bar Alistair, is already dead. FM running for the base. That's TP coming in from Renji. Jax is up in a couple of seconds to follow. Or just run through the towers. Maybe look for a kill onto FM. Doesn't matter. Reign of Kings will be taking this game with the ace. One more for Wit on the scoreboard. And continuing their undefeated streak in the GRLCS.
Yeah, and Hastega and Wit just went on an absolute massacre. Don't get me wrong, the rest of the team did everything they had to help out with really succeeding in this kind of match. But I mean, Hastega was just in control from minute one. I mean, Renji was behind early on because of the first blood being given over, but they didn't even seem phased. They were just like, all right, we can continue being aggressive. We lose our bot lane pretty hard there because they're both dying so easily. It's fine. We have a Lilia who just got so much gold off of turret plating and then a kill. And Hastega really carried that lead throughout this entire match.
Yeah, very good job from them, and a win for Reign of Kings. Now we do have a quick break coming up afterwards. We will be coming back with Redemption Esports versus Dogmar Gaming. We'll see you all in a bit.
And hello, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the next game, Redemption Esports versus Dogmar Gaming. Redemption on the blue side, while Dogmar is on the red side. And both teams kind of looking for something to really start excelling them up into the rankings, especially Dogmar, looking for something to really carry themselves off of. To, you get to 2-5, then we could start talking like, oh yeah, we're a real menace. But uh, for now, we're gonna relax on that, and we're just going to introduce the teams that we didn't do last game because they kind of just decided to start fighting immediately.
Yeah.
Redemption, having the blue side, they do have Patrick's Patrick Star Baby as the Garen top, Hyping Hero, Amumu, jungle. Avatar is manning the Syndra in the mid lane, and Fargo and Banthresh playing the Shamira Alistar. We just saw that.
Meanwhile, for the red side, it is Dogmar Gaming with Black Ginger playing the Ornn top, Dogmar taking Poppy in the jungle, Mullins on Lucian mid, and not Levi and Mordo with the Zig Seraphine bot lane.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a common kind of start, very standard. So, since it is the standard start for both sides, I guess we could talk about the team comps. Um, yeah, the Garen is the one that has me very, very intrigued the most, to be quite honest. The rest I'm like kind of making sense about, but Garen, that's one pick that we don't see a whole lot. So, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, Garen is considered a bit of like a noob champ. Very simple. You press Q on someone, you then E. If they get low, press R. If not, run away with W active, repeat until dead, essentially. So not sure how well he fits with competitive, especially in this kind of team comp. Is going to have a lot of trouble getting through a Poppy, getting to a Lucian, who can blast come away, getting through a Seraphine and Ornult. You can just layer on top, preventing from doing much. If he does have an impact, it'll probably be on the sides, and Ornn isn't the easiest for him to take advantage of. Not the worst either. Could be an arranged matchup, but we'll have to try and get at least something down. And in a world where Anathema's Chains is not too bad of an item to rush, it's not exactly my favorite pick for Redemption's comp.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that, to be quite honest. There's just a few things that have me intrigued. Obviously, the Garen one kind of makes me wonder um, if maybe they were thinking about flexing Garen Yumi bot. It kind of feels like maybe the Ziggs and Seraphine pick was like a first round, let's lock it in and flex it around pick.
Yeah,
And
meanwhile, sorry to cut you off, but we do have Hyping Hero going for getting this Ulka with Patrick Starbaby's help. Dogmar just, I guess, looked for the stun, but didn't look at lane states. And since Garen was able to roam, he does end up going down.
yeah, Ornn does not have the wave pressure as a Garen does, so Patrick Star using using that wave pressure very well, and he just comes straight on in and just goes SpongeBob.
Yeah, now do have to be a bit careful. Miss from Hyping Hero, it took the extra tower shot that would have been dangerous. Yeah, just overly aggressive for Dogmar, wasn't paying attention. Now Black Ginger is actually about risk of being diving. Kind of hard to do that for an Ornn, especially when Hyping Hero misses the stun. One extra tower shot, Patrick Star Baby just barely one more minion out, doesn't kill him, but Hyping Hero goes down instead, and that is a very inadvisable dive to do at this portion of the game.
Yeah, especially when Hyping Hero ends up missing the bandage toss like that. He misses it twice. So because he had used it, he had to wait for it to come back up. Then they say, all right, we could really just push and get this kill. But we see that Patrick Star, he takes as much damage as he can and then has to like leave while Hyping Hero is already so low just because of the Ornn being able to do so much of that damage, especially with the brittle. So it was very weird and, as you said, very ill-advised.
Yeah, meanwhile, though, it is going to be a fight in the bot lane. Stun from Dogmar onto Fargo. He will manage to go down. Now they're looking to continue the fight. Banthresh does get the stun auto. Dogmar trying to get away from Hyping Hero, who will flash forward, but Dogmar has a flash of his own, manages to get out. Another TP in. Garrett is in trouble in the 3v1, but fairly tanky enough. He should be fine. And in the end, it is just a 1-for-0. Almost all TPs, except for Ziggs, burned into the bot lane for a win for Dogmar Gaming.
Yeah, Dogmar really making sure they can secure that one kill onto Fargo, I believe. Yeah, so they get the kill on the Fargo, and then immediately we see the responses, and well,
Oh,
look at that
that's
flash.
a bit of a aggressive take from Hyping Hero. Amumu not known for his early objective speed, taking speed. Guess was hoping that just no one would check and his bot lane could roam up. He was getting low, and Dagmar just comes in for the solo kill. Now they're gonna continue the dragon. But Dagmar doesn't have smite, but it's not easy to take this early, and Redemption just kind of hand over yet another kill.
Yeah, Redemption, not the best choice there. Obviously, Hyping, he saw that maybe Dogmar had backed off. He could do it easily and then have his bot lane come up. But because because Dogmar, he decides to stick around for a little longer, he's able to just sit around, notices, comes over, and because Hyping is so low, doesn't have to flash. He has to smite to even get any kind of health back. But this is a Poppy with a Sheen now. I don't know if she had the Sheen already. But, well. You can't escape the Ram God, huh? Do not know if General Vichi's like working right now. Good shutdown though by Avatar onto Dogmar, who is punished for being aggressive finally. But while we wait, okay, hey, there you are.
Okay, yep, just realized I had accidentally muted myself. Apologies for that. As yeah, that was a way early dive from Dagmar. Doesn't even let the minions get close to it, doesn't let help come. So yeah, he just kind of kills himself. Not much more to say about it than that.
Yeah, the scout of the week really was what kind of did it in, because Avatar scatters immediately so that he doesn't get pinned or anything. So he's just fine, gets a kill, and then since, as you pointed out, the rest of the minions and the laners are still just a little far away, is the easiest shutdown for Avatar to take. And when Shamira is down, you want to keep the rest of her team down as well, especially someone like a Syndra who really can help Fargo with getting the Devil Impulse up and ready to use. I think it's what it's called. It might not be Devil Impulse.
Yeah, that's her
But
passive, I believe.
Is
I believe
it
you're right on
passive?
that.
It might be. Yeah, I think it's passive actually.
Yeah,
But
it's Devil's
Inferno
Impulse,
Trigger. Inferno Trigger. That's
Flare,
what I'm
Inferno
talking
triggers the ult, yeah.
about. Yeah.
And then I believe it's Blade Whirl is the W, and can't quite
Correct.
remember the E. But yeah, meanwhile, Dragon started up from Dogmar Gaming. They do have the pressure in the bot side, and we'll look to start it. But Banthresh trying to Hex Flash in, gets denied from Steadfast Presence. Denial on the Amumu as well. Use the Q, but does manage to get ult. That means Dogmar's going to go down immediately. Second Q is up. That's going to be able to finish off Ziggs for the double kill. One more as Syndra roams in, as Samira tries to get Inferno Trigger. But Mullins is just a bit too strong from that, and you're a bit too early in the game to be deleting people. So at least one kill back, but still a 2-for-1 in favor of Redemption with the Dragon on top.
Yeah, Fargo had the rush a little too early, so he flash ease in, obviously gives the kill over to the Lucian. Not the best, especially since Lucian is that mid lane, mid game threat. However, it's not the end of the world, but great responses all around, especially Hyping Hero using the ultimate from Amumu, or on Amumu, just to solidify the kill onto Dogmar. And once they are able to confirm that, they just start going for the rest. Not Levi had a great ultimate. The Mega Inferno Bomb was beautiful, but it doesn't matter when you can't capitalize off of it. And your mid laner is already so far back. It's like, well, everyone's dead. He can't even he can't even do anything, especially since the Coling's not the biggest, baddest version of it yet.
Yeah, meanwhile, Blank Ginger is going to be running away from Hyping Hero. Second Q will land, but nowhere close from Patrick Star means he will be able to get away fine. And there is no Mumu ult, and Ornult is up as well. So with Dogmar coming in, that is going to be a nice two-man knock-up, trying to E him back in. Hyping Hero will flash, but it won't matter, and Blank Ginger does just get the shutdown.
Yep, and a beautiful response there by Dogmar and by Blank Ginger as well. So Blank obviously using the Call of the Forge God to make sure they get slowed down, and then landing a two-man ultimate. So really, Blank is making a lot of these plays for his team, and you could kind of see, you know, if there's going to be a fight, you might want this Ornn around, because right now Blank is not missing on his ultimates. He's being very, very good, and he's playing this game very safely, especially from that gank earlier on.
Yeah, and you can just see it in the CS numbers. 20 CSF has been doing very, very well against the Garen in the 1v1, as Ornn can kind of do. Garen doesn't have the most tank killing abilities until he hits later game when his E really starts to shred people. And yeah, just with that advantage, now Fargo is being pushed to back up, knocked back, and Thresh avoids the double root. Dogmar looking for it, flash stun back into the wall, calling from Mullins, one shot. Alistair tried to help, Thresh didn't pop ult or flash or anything, that means he'll go down. Hyping Hero finished off as well, interrupt on the TP, probably could have let that go through from Blank Ginger and just have him die as soon as he gets there, because the fight was over long before it started. Avatar going a bit too far up as well. One more kill on the board, and Dogmar Gaming just get a 4-0 over the Missteps of Redemption.
Yeah, and Redemption is making a lot of unneeded mistakes. Fargo was so far up away from his teammates, and you see Dogmar, second he spots him, he's just like, all right, well, I can go. Thanks for giving me the downright movement to get onto you. And Hyping Hero, he gets a two-man ulti, I think, and maybe not even that, just a one-man. So it's not even like Hyping was able to get the full value of it. Avatar, you know, he was there. He was there for the split second, but you know, all around great responses by the Dogmar, and Redemption having to realize we can't do this kind of mistake anymore. We're going to be punished very hard, and Shamira from behind is a Shamira not even in game.
Yeah, and it is the bot side from Redemption that has to be the ones to get ahead. Patrick Star, baby, will not be getting able to 1v1 this Ornn or do much in the side lane for quite some time. At this point, with Ornn already has Mythic done, and you can see the Garen without even any items, just baby components, and not even good components. They're pretty bad components. You've got a cloth armor, oh gosh, Kindle Gem. There we go, blanked on the name for a bit. You're up against full Sunfire Ornn. So you can't really do anything in lane. He's never going to let you back because he's just going to keep perma-shoving. Probably just wants to stay until plates go down. But even then, you're always at risk of tower dying. And now Fargo a bit too far up again. Stun into the wall from Dogmar. Not Levi, hits him with the satchel and goes on a killing spree.
Yeah, and Fargo is just not having a great time at all. Looks like Flash was up. Yeah, Flash was not up yet. And he had the heal, but I don't even know if the heal would have been able to keep him protected, maybe keep him from being stunned locked. But I mean, they are playing this so well, and now Hyping Hero's target.
Yep, cleanse from Mullins means he's going to chase forward. That's the bomb dodged out by going back in. Avatar might be able to get one trade kill. Not Levi, barely kept alive by the shield and just walking in with no vision. Hyping Hero with no one to help him get it. And that will be yet another free kill and a dragon for Dogmar Gaming. Oh, nice! The flash
The
and
Alistair.
Thresh. Picking up the soul, and that's actually might stop it. Stun's gonna land onto Mordo, does still have heal and a stopwatch. Here comes TP from the Ornn. Garen might be able to cancel if he gets in the bush. I see him looking for it, does manage to get the cancel, but on the other side, it is Dogmar being able to pick off Avatar. Mullins with the damage, and it will end up being a 1-for-1 in favor of Dogmar thanks to the dragon pickup.
Yeah, and you know the flash pick there was nice. And,
Oh, well,
uh,
Poppy
sorry,
can do that. Yeah, as meanwhile, Blind Ginger is getting a bit low. Nice by Factory Star, but just doesn't quite have the follow-up damage. I think he could, like, look for a flash, gauge on a Blind Ginger, or don't even need it if he's just gonna walk up, but he misses the silence. Hits a minion instead. Feel like he could have gone a bit more aggressive, but it is still a very strong Ornn. And now Dogmar's coming up, and with the pressure that Garen is exerting, it will leave him far up in the lane. Smells it coming, backs up really nicely. Dogmar not going to be able to get much more done. And meanwhile, mid, the siege continues, and you do not want to be on the other team when Ziggs is a part of that siege.
absolutely, he is a terror-taking menace, and there are 3 people towards this top side. Mortal might, yeah, they both spot out each other.
Yeah,
But
Hyping Hero is going to go over, but it's a Mumu, so he doesn't have any damage at all. And we'll just back up Mordo with it. Really need to find a time for Patrick Star Baby to back. He's been out on the map for quite a while, as Not Levi will manage to go forward now. Van Thresh can't quite get in range because Not Levi can walk topside. Dogmar zoning off, and they are getting this tower pretty close to satchel range. Bot lane Mullins is pushing, getting that solo EXP and gold. He's gonna be pretty scary with the Kraken Slayer already done. Essence Reaver soon to follow. Might look for interrupt on back. I don't think you should. Okay, nice restraint from Bad Thresh. And we continue with Ornn pushing top. Looking nice satchel from Not Levi to interrupt that combo.
yeah, very beautifully timed there, and
Yes, that's
oh,
going to be the ult force though. That's the Encore Bud. He already went down. Avatar now eating the culling from Mullins, but missed the latter portion. Flash over the wall. Dash away. Isn't quite have him yet. Not Levi might be able to get him satchel. Back in for Fargo as well. That's nice, but because Mullins flashed over a bit too far, he's going to go down. Now Fargo is on the other end of the Ornal. Doesn't need it. Double kill for Not Levi. Dogmar's tanky in the front line. It is only support and a Mumu jungle. There is no damage to finish him off. Dogmar dashes forward, picks up Hyping Hero. Banthresh caught off by the other two. Another nice satchel from Not Levi, clearly well versed on the Ziggs mechanics, and it will be a 4-for-1 for Dogmar Gaming.
yeah, and the entire time Patrick Star Baby is just doing what every top laner has always dreamed about doing, staying in the top lane and just being this split pushing menace. He has a stride breaker up and ready, but I mean, because he doesn't come down when Ornn is on his way down as well, they end up losing this team fight. They end up losing the Herald as well, and it looked super ambitious at first, and then next thing you know, we see Mullins. He goes in, he immediately ends up dying. But because of the amount of damage he and Not Levi are able to put out, it just allows for the 2 tanks, or I guess the brawler and the tank, to come in, and they just absolutely destroy the rest of the team that is Redemption. And right now, they are the 3-3 team coming into this match, but my goodness, Dogmar is looking superb right now. It looks like they've just had a complete turnaround from what their previous 6 games have been.
Yeah, and that is worth pointing out that it is 3-3 for Redemption. There is, in this conference, there is Reign of Kings at 6-0 on top, and then 3 teams after, Lamp Redemption and BNG, who all are sitting at 3-3 looking for one of those last 2 spots. Dogmar sitting back at 1-5. They need to try and get that win. As Banthresh is getting caught out, flash away. Herald will go down. Dogmar will probably look for stun. Silence doesn't matter. We'll finish him off. Now comes the Ornn ult. Patrick Starbaby is going to be finished off. Encore barely misses. And now they just have Herald in the top lane pushing down for the inhib. Dogmar looking for Fargo. Barely misses off the stun, but look at that Poppy damage. He went for the Divine Sunderer, not the tank build from last game. And you can see it as Fargo is going to get really low. Not going to get short by something. I wonder what that was. Means he won't get the little proc, and Fargo will stay alive. Now Hyping here on the back line finishing off. Flash away from Blank Ginger isn't going to mean much. Mullins now trying to kite away. Triple kill for Avatar. He's going to be switching targets continually as Avatar misses his combo. That means Mullins has a chance to pop off. Gets the kill onto Hyping Hero. Dodges one more Q. And an overstep from Dogmar does mean some kills, and shutdown gold go back in the favor of Redemption.
Yep, and hold on, give me 1 sec. Sorry, had to sneeze. But because of that, we do end up seeing that they immediately go straight for the Ocean Dragon, and teleports are coming in from the side of the Redemption Esports, they want to do this, and they 100% can, but not Levi is here. He does
Yeah,
have
he
the
does
Super
have
Mega
this
Inferno.
Ziggs ult. Patrick Star's just gonna die to the dragon, I think. Doesn't manage to seal it, but gets the shutdown. His avatar will have to flash the wall. Barely gets away from Dogmar. Almost got stunned. And that is a nice pickup to delay the dragon stacking. But it does mean Garen goes down and not Levi gets another kill on his scoreboard.
Yeah, and about the fight that had just taken place, obviously they're gonna go ahead and take the opportunity to go for the Baron now, and then try and maybe do a 1-3-1, which I feel like they 100% can just because of how strong they are. Maybe even just do a 4-1, but when you look at the last team fight that happened, it's just an overextension, and really Dogmar wanting to get some more kills, put some more respect onto his name and onto his team's name, and they are absolute monsters. But it looks like another fight.
Yeah, and because Garen went down, they will manage to get on the Baron. Nice ult from the Poppy. Gets him out. Avatar trying to come forward. Will go down. Now comes the call of the Orhorn Flank Changer. Will manage to get him. Will probably have in range. Dogmar goes a bit too far. Gets the shield, though. Gets the double root. He will go down. Fargo gets it, but the Ziggs ult on top. He does not care about the Samira wind wall, as Flank Changer will go down. Nice 3-mana Mumu ult, but the follow-up is long dead and running, and it will be a Baron plus 3 kills, only at the cost of Dogmar's life. All for Dogmar Gaming as they look to continue to close this game out.
Yeah, and they do end up losing at least one of the Baron buffs that is on Dogmar. And Hyping Hero, if only he was the AP source of damage in this game as well, along with Avatar, he would have gotten probably a 3-man or a triple kill in that entire thing, and that would have made this fight entirely worth it. However, because he is the tank version, he does not deal the amount of damage needed to kill, which means the Baron buffs are still out, and that just makes this a lot harder to try and claw back in. We've seen bigger claw outs in games than the one that Redemption is staring at, but when you are dealing with an AK gold lead and a hobby that wants to go in, it's going to happen now.
Dogmar goes in and he goes very, very, very far in. Goes down again, trying to go for now. The fight can come forward. Avatar takes a ton of damage. Zigzol will stun him away from getting any follow-up. TP coming in from Flank Ginger does have the Orn ult just a bit on cooldown. Can't get anyone. Nice bomb though onto Ban Thresh. He will get knocked up. Pops the ult. Doesn't matter. Goes down. Now Fargo trying to get away from the Lucian calling, but nice Scatter of the Weak from Avatar will cancel and almost get the kill if not for the stopwatch. There comes the Ornhorn, gets the knockup on the backline, and Encore runs through 3. That's gonna almost get him up. Nice knockup again. Not Levi gets him with the bomb. One more auto will also give Mullins the kill onto Hyping Hero. And okay, a bit too far forward. Flank Ginger taking tower a bit too long. Another one comes back, and it is overall, I believe, a 3 for 2 at the end of the day. In for Redemption is all Patrick almost made that a bit worse. Avatar staying a bit too far or close as well. Probably should back up. And it will probably mean mid tower goes down, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, and really, Flank Ginger, he had such a good ultimate there, a good knockup as well to really help his team out with securing or almost securing this first inhibitor turret. I think keeping it alive is just the best solution here currently. And that's just because, you know, you have, if you get it, they can probably just allow their inhibitor to be taken, and then there's like, okay, well, you can't really do anything now. Your Baron buff's expired. There's no objective, so we know that they're probably going to try and go for a 1-3-1. So they can play it very patiently. And, you know, they don't have to be terrified of it all. But because they end up leaving the inhibitor turret alive, they can wait for Dragon, they can take it, and then they can really push a objective if they wanted to. And I think we're starting to kind of see where the main damage source is lying, and that's just mainly on Avatar. Avatar is half housing; he's bringing people down to a quarter, but it's just so much damage that he's also taking when he's giving out the same amount of damage.
Yeah, and it's just like good fights going through because of the backline damage. Do wonder how it would go if Dogmar would stop suiciding in with the charge so far ahead and make it a 4v5 from the beginning. But we do have Dragon coming up, not a very impactful one, as it is only the second for Dogmar Gaming. Won't get a lot, so they're going to let Patrick Starbaby push top. Has TP if anything comes into join, as that's going to be Poppy ult. Was a bit worried about Mullins getting caught out, did have cleanse, but take no risks and claim your free dragon. Try and start stacking up till Soul, even if it will be much, much later in the game.
Yeah, and we do see. Oh, actually, it might be.
Yeah, Blank Ginger trying to
flash?
zone for the rest of it, but he is very far alone. Tanky, as the Ornn does have flash to go over to the wall as well, and he just doesn't care. Has the Ornn Horn popped, but there's the wind wall right in time for a very nice encore across everyone. Flashes up instead of down, might be trying to kite away from Fargo, gets the two-man knockup, still tanking everyone. Almost manages to claim Avatar on the back side of it, and Hyping Hero went down, trying to push forward. Dogmar chasing, won't get too much more. Will be a 1-for-1 in the end.
Yeah, and Mordo had the most beautifully timed encore that I could have ever seen against a Shamira. Right as the wind wall drops, the encore connects. And if only there was just a little more confirmation or security there by either Mullins or by Mordo, or heck, even by Levi, they easily take the fight, and more than likely they take the game off of that. But they want to play it safe. They don't want to give up any kind of lead. So it makes sense that they just say, okay, let's take the dragon. Blank, you're doing a really good job on distracting and taking a lot of damage. Good job by Mordo as well. So we'll take it and we'll leave before anything bad really happens.
Yeah, now we do have the Baron starting to come up. Only 20 seconds before that is an objective to worry about, and it is something to worry about when you have to walk through a choke filled by an Ornn ult, an Encore, a Ziggs ult. You do, of course, have Samira to block at least 2 of those, being the Encore and the Ornn Horn, but just having a choke point against a Ziggs is never fun, especially when Poppy can knock you to wall, so it is very important you get there first. Try and get into the river to make yourself a lot less vulnerable, but they weren't able to get in position. Now Dogmar's looking for the Alistar, who had ult, had flash, doesn't use it, goes down to not Levi with his Mega Inferno Bomb. Now they're walking past another wall as Hyping Hero is going to go forward. Does manage to land a nice 3-man ult, but there is no follow-up. That's a gigantic Ziggs Bong in the backline. Chunks both carries 2-half. That means they're both going to be forced out. Flashes into a double hit from Blank Ginger. Flash over the wall. Stun from Mullins that wasn't coming anyway. Avatar has to kite away. They have a mid inhib free for the taking as Karen tries to go in, but the heal, all the damage. He gets one shot. Mid inhib is going to go down as well, and more than likely the Nexus for Dogmar Gaming.
Yes, and Dogmark Gaming, they come out with a gigantic statement. They may have been 1-5 to start this game off, but they came in big. They had one goal in mind, and that was to dominate from the second this match started. And my goodness, did they look like a team ready to go on a run.
Yeah, very, very important win for Dogmar. Not quite sure how the math works out and what their chances are of making playoffs. I imagine it's low as there aren't too many games left in the season, but you do take whatever you can get, and it was well done by them to take the win over Redemption, who couldn't quite pull it out. We do have one more game left on the day. It will be Lamppost versus Vengeance. We'll be taking a short break to get it ready. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the final game of the Week 7 Platinum Ruination Division for the GRLCS, and we're capping it off with two 3-3 teams. One going to be meeting up with the previous Redemption 3-3, now 3-4. But for this one, we have Vengeance on the blue side, we have Lamppost on the red side, and no messing around. We're going straight into talking about the teams and who is laning which one. For Vengeance, we do have JJ as the Kennen in the top lane. We have Gavin as the Kindred in the jungle. Metashift is manning the Ziggs. Mid and Stratty Too Good, and Hiroshi as the Ashe and Amumu.
Meanwhile, for a Lamppost, it is Slappy in the top lane with Amundo. Worse luck NA taking Trundle in the jungle. The Leroy is piloting new champ Vex, while Mr. Unfortunate and Rennie Newman are taking advantage of some meta shifts and going with the Lucian Nami bot.
Yep, and I think I was finally able to see, if I remember correctly, I finally was able to see the power that the Lucian and Nami provide in the last game, or in one of the last games for the second day of group stages and worlds. But we're not going to talk about that. This isn't the time to talk about it. This is the time to talk about the new champion, Vex, being manned by Leroy here in the mid lane. A very interesting champion, to say the least. Has been one of my favorite champions as of recently to play, and not a for me, it's not a dominant champion, I would say. However, it is a champion that I definitely love to play.
Yeah, and Vex does have pretty good numbers. I'd say I think she's a bit on the strong side, might be tuned down a little as time goes on. But it is a very fun kit. Isn't too much for her to stop dash-wise from Vengeance's comp. Just really the Kindred is really vulnerable to that, but fun nonetheless. And the Fear is going to be really good as she managed to catch an Amumu or Kennen right on their engage. So from that perspective, it should be pretty fun. Can also follow up with the ult on like a Nami engage or something, or to really clean up after a Kindred ult that leaves everyone low. So I like the pick here, and it should be really fun to watch.
Yeah, and the ultimate for Vex does end up resetting every time. I believe it's the champion that is involved in the death. And in case anyone does not know, Vex is kind of like a champion who punishes you if you do end up having like some kind of dash or something like that. So say you're a Yasuo or the Ziggs, for example, who can hop around. She can punish you. She does have pretty bursty damage, especially when you have the soul on you. I don't really know what to call it.
I believe it's Doom stacks is what it's her passive. It's basically whenever anyone uses a dash near her, they get affected by Doom, which can auto attack for a bit of extra damage and reduces the cooldown before her next Fear on ability is up. So easy enough to do that against someone like Yasuo. It's probably not as much use, but still worth mentioning as we do start to see the Lucian Nami push in bot. Not a ton of lane pressure so far, but it does make it really easy for this Trundle to be invading on the bot side, which means that Slappy has to be careful top side, as Kindred was looking, but just didn't really want to go for that gank.
Yeah, and especially since there is a ward there, so trying to go onto Slappy when there's no lockdown CC and he has to flash, kind of not worth it. So just better to not really try and make anything happen when you're not going to be able to kill such a Chad like Gamundo. So other than that going on, the state of the lanes currently is kind of really even. I mean, obviously Vex does have the small CS lead. The only big one that I guess we can kind of talk is just like how the Kennen is being bullied away. I had to play this kind of matchup previously, and it was not fun. Getting hit by those cleavers.
Yeah, meanwhile in the bot lane, just easy 2v2 kill, probably just caught out a bit too much with a bubble, flashes burned, and just an easy double kill, showing the power of the Lucian Nami for Mr. Unfortunate.
Yeah, and it was really unfortunate for the side of Vengeance, but they do have a top lane gank happening here.
Yeah, Sluppy trying to go a bit far forward, almost gets up the flashes for the passive, trying to get one more. Can't quite get a cleaver out, can't quite get the kill onto Gavin. So his shoving finally manages to bite him, and it will be a kill in the top side. Get some advantages for Vengeance.
Yeah, a very good response there. Something I didn't expect was actually the coal to be the first item for Kennen. So very surprising. Very nicely done there to really be able to get the kind of punishment that you want. Make sure that everything is just a-okay. But the boss, like, I have no idea what happened, but whatever it was, this- it is opposite of what the Ash's name is. Strategy too good. That strategy was not good. Now the Lucian is ahead, huge margin ahead, really.
Yeah, not too. Doesn't really come out in the items so far, just the call, but he is waiting on his back, so he should be able to get that off. We'll probably at least have the Noon Quiver done, if I had to guess. Maybe a bit more, as well as there we do see the Moon Quiver and a Pink Ward, so nice for him to help us support Nami starting to work towards her Imperial Mandate. That helps make her synergize so incredibly well with Lucian between his extra magic damage on being buffed, Nami immediately giving that to him, her E, plus not electrocute this time, actually went for Ares, so a bit more of a hybrid between defensive and aggressive from Randy Newman, which I do think electrocute is the superior choice when you're going for this kind of lane. But either way, still going to be tons and tons of damage, able to dash forward, get the immediate Nami E procs, plus all the Lucian procs, which is what has basically turned this into such a prominent duo lane.
Yeah, and another thing I do want to kind of talk about is the top side. Usually it is the summoner area out on the cannon. This time he actually opts in for the phase rush. Uh, it is a very nice one to have on him as well. Well, Leroy might be in some trouble here.
Yeah, getting kited away from, can't do as much against the dash. Throws his ults, can't quite get Gavin, and he had the Kindred anyway. Worst luck, still not 6. And just nice gank mid from Gavin to punish the new champ Vex before she can really start, I would call it popping off, but that goes against like all of her lore. For that champion to be getting excited and doing well. So before she manages to ruin everyone else's day, they won't be able to start Dragon though. Kindred going top side, a nice read by Worst Luck. To be able to get that despite his mid laner being dead, knows his bot has enough pressure and enough kill threat that even if anyone were to come check him, he should be able to safely finish this off.
Yep, and as you said, he is able to get it quite easily. I would like to see just how is Kindred doing stacks currently, or I guess on her hunt is what it is called. Um, so she has 4, actually. She has 4 marks already. That's actually quite. That's actually a lot better than I was expecting. I guess Wursla hasn't been trying to stop or punish him for being.
Yes, that is
so
going
far-
to be a bubble landed. That forces her Oshi to go in to try and peel for strategy too good, and does manage to get out, but uses heal, uses flash. Only thing committed was the calling from Lucian, and they're now at a pretty risky spot in this lane. Gavin coming down might be able to make something happen if Mr. Unfortunate Randy Newman go too far aggro. Barely misses. There's the wave going to come out. Gets too low. Gavin trying to kite forward. Flashes right back into the arrow. That's not the percentage play you want. That does mean they're going to be able to maybe, no, not finish off Randy Newman. Now the TP from the Leroy is going to be able to get the kill onto Stratty Too Good. Kites away. Now the bubble is going to be able to pick up one as well onto the enemy support. And it will just be 2 kills for none in favor of Lamppost.
Yeah, man. We thought that it was going to go terribly once Randy Newman was kind of caught out, but there was just who it looked like to be some kind of miscommunication, or maybe both sides were just not on the same kind of mindset. But you can see the Kindred is aiming for the Lucian for most of the time, while Randy is being targeted by Hiroshi. And because of that, they're not even able to secure one kill down there. While Leroy's able to come down, he's able to punish for extending so far up. And you invest so much damage, so much ultimates to try and kill a fish. The fish stays alive, so the fish kind of just got back at you. It's like, ha, I win.
Yep, and while all that was going on, Worstlog managed to get the Rift Herald. Now he's going to be putting it down mid. With the plates already going down, probably going to barely survive this next charge. Might still be able to finish it off later from the Leroy. Don't know that he'll be able to get it right now. It's getting close though, and will go down. So that is full plates, full tower, first blood, and full advantage to the Leroy and Worstlog and Lamppost.
Yeah, Lampos is looking very solid currently. Especially Mr. Unfortunate. His support is also playing really well. So really, Mr. Unfortunate and Randy are doing very good jobs. Leroy, after being taken out in the mid lane, he's seems a lot more calmed down. Obviously, now the Landry is built, but I mean, Landry's for meta shifts. But I mean, Leroy is trying to just do whatever he can to help out the most fed one on his team, especially one that ends up falling off come the mid game.
Yeah, meanwhile though, a gank top coming in, Slappy trying to kite away, does get his passive to block the stun, and with the flash plus the ult, gets away from Gavin's gank. Nicely done though, punishing Slappy for basically just perma shoving top with no vision coverage. Does need one more gank to probably to actually make use of something, but mentioning that it is a mistake with the perma shoving top, you also have to keep in mind as we do have a gank in the bot. That's going to be the Vex coming in for the combo, finishes off Hiroshi, and one more barely out of range is Stridey too good, as they will start to get damage on this bot tower.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about earlier, where I said Leroy is just trying to help out his most fed laner, and that is exactly what he's doing. He's kind of just said, "Screw it, I don't really have to stay mid. Like that's not what I'm built to do. I'm built to help out a team." And interesting TP here.
Yeah, I mean, while double TP from the back with Ziggs and the cannon, very nice slicing Maelstrom, setting up the Ziggs ult perfectly. Slappy comes in a bit too late to save their lives, but might be able to be just in time to pick up the kills. No, can't go under tower, Stridey too good cutting away, running through meta shift. His bombs are going to finish it off. Barely too late on the ult from Gavi, or Stridey too good stepped out of it, not quite sure which, as the Leroy finishes it off. Now, flash forward from meta shift, trying to get the statue to stop the Leroy, but the fear and the pillar means Worstlog's going to be able to save his life. And it will be, I believe, a 2 for 2, maybe 3 overall. Maybe 3 for 3 after counting Hiroshi. Not quite sure on the count, but it is at least a nice play to start getting vengeance back in this game.
I believe at the end of it all, it was a 3 for 3. They were able to take out, or Mr. Unfortunate and Randy were able to take out the Amumu at first, but then the double TP does end up coming in, and because of that, actually. Okay, he's just fine. But they were able to take out the Amumu earlier, so Amumu wasn't involved in the fight. But the double TP is such a great plan there. They come in, they immediately take out the bot laners. Slappy able to take out, I believe it was JJ, just because of how low he was. But Leroy sticking around on the amount of health was a very questionable call, because he could have been killed or anything. But because he doesn't end up dying, he makes it a fair trade at the end of the day. So, yeah, it's not ideal. You give a lot of shutdown, especially to the Ziggs, who's now 4-0-0. But, I mean, you kind of take it, because Vex is now starting to actually bring the Gloom over into the Rift, and no one likes the Gloom except for one depressed Yordle.
Yeah, and it is very important though that they have a strong point for vengeance. Meta shift being this strong means he is going to be able to really carry, and they need that with top lane being pushed in all the time, losing lane with bot lane not being able to play lane well into Lucian Nami either. Just the strong side lanes mean that you need at least one pressure point to win a game of League of Legends almost all the time. And if you do have that mid, even if the enemy is fed, if you can be that carry in that very important team fight, really good. Arrow goes wide, kind of just a Hail Mary from the bot lane, strategy good. Not anticipate fighting, but might be walking into one nonetheless. Randy Newman getting the slow with Mandate done. Mr. Unfortunate not committing though, he was busy CSing under tower. So they'd be able to safely and luckily walk out from Vengeance's bot lane as we just get into a way shove mid, which means the Leroy is roaming to try and open up the map even more for Lamppost.
Yeah, and I feel like they could have taken out Stratty actually. No flash on the Ash, which means that Lucian with the Gale Force and with the culling could easily 0 to or 100 to 0 the ADC, put her even farther behind. But you can see why he doesn't do it. I guess, you know, you have the movement there. It's scary. Oh, scary.
And speaking of Yumu, over the wall goes the Bandage Tosh, last ult to make sure it lands on Mr. Unfortunate, and Meta Shift with the Mega Inferno Bomb, with the extra bombs, bouncing bombs on his Q as well, managed to secure 2 more in favor of Vengeance and get the gold lead within 2,000.
Yep, the sad mummy strikes, taking out 2 members of Lamp, and those 2 happen to be the ones who were really being focused for Leroy, and now Leroy's the only one who's okay. Well, this kind of blows. I have to actually play a little safer. I can't rely on the Lucian to really help with doing a lot of damage or anything like that. So, I mean, he was doing just fine anyway beforehand, but you know, now the Ziggs is even more fed. Kindred is starting to get more of her hunts, and the longer it goes, the tougher it'll be.
Yeah, and it is nice that they're getting back the gold. They managed to get bot tower. They're stopping all the pushes with how early mid tower went. Vengeance's mid tower went down with the Herald play from Lamppost. You really do think that the map needs to be opened up a bit more, make more plays with that freed up member, but just haven't been able to get it done. Now they will be able to get top lane with the 4-man rotation. Herald as well. Slappy's been kind of working on this, and we'll start just headbutting it to finish it off. No team help required, and now they do still have Herald for their own push. As Mr. Unfortunate is going to solo lane. We've seen a lot of solo lane ADCs, and he might pay for it this time as well with JJ moving forward, gets a stun, has a slicing maelstrom, and this is why you don't solo lane ADC, because most other champs in the game can 1v1 them.
Yeah, the Gale Force and Flash was not used at all by it. Oh. My mic's being weird. It's not popping up for me. Okay, here we go. But he had the Flash. He had a lot of his dashes and abilities up. So I'm very surprised that he didn't try to escape faster there. And because of all that, you know, he just ends up dying. And I feel like if he flashes, he uses the Gale Force. There's no way JJ can really keep up with him. So he doesn't get stunned. He doesn't get killed there. And even though he has to use so much to escape, it's a lot better than falling even more behind. And giving the cannon another kill is not, it feels good at all. If it was a Mumu or Ash, maybe it's like, you know, feel a little better. But the cannon and the Ziggs are really the 2 main threats currently. And the more that these 2 can get kills and get fed, the much harder it'll be to try and sustain this mid game.
Yeah, meanwhile, Leroy, though, is going to be able to connect with the ult. That leads into the fear. Metashift flashes over the pillar, but Worst Luck has one to follow. Will be able to go down. Now Gavin barely dodges out on the Vexel as well, so no follow-up, but Gavin takes a ton of damage from that Q, plus the Rune Spot flash forward from Slappy. No ult from Gavin means he goes down. Now JG on the run, and it is Lamppost saying, hey, we do still have control this game as they chase down JJ. They will be able to summon the Rift Herald to maybe get a charge on mid. Not sure if there will be a cancel from Vengeance bot lane, but they win the team fight, they get soul point, and they get control of this game right back.
Yeah, Metashift was trying his best to flash over the wall, but the pillar was just put in front of him, so he ends up flashing over the pillar. Instead, you can see he immediately tried to seemed like he was over the wall, but because he wasn't, he ends up falling. The rest of the team tries to respond to help him out, but they end up falling, and then the dragon's given over, which means Cloud Dragon Soul. And Mr. Unfortunate, he was really feeling the bloodlust for the for the Kennen, who had just previously taken him out, and the flash was very unnecessary. because there's just no way you kill him. But you could see he was like, he wanted to like make a statement to him, like, hey, don't you ever come at me again.
Yeah, and with that soul point, it makes it a lot harder for Vengeance to play in these later game macro scenarios. Cloud Soul, not the most devastating, but it is also really, really good on, or at least better than most is. Hold on, because Randy Newman is getting caught. It has to flash away, but Hiroshi does have another bandage toss. And Arrow is going to sneak past two. Gavin trying to get back through, but the Leroy and Mr. Unfortunate are zoning. They're going to force out the Kindred ult. There comes the Mega Inferno Bomb. Kindred ult keeps the Leroy alive. Managed to get out. Now Mr. Unfortunate managed to get Hiroshi, but here comes the cannon. That's a huge slicing maelstrom. Gonna pick up two. Mr. Unfortunate being able to survive thanks to the other sacrifice. Pillar means JJ will go down. That makes it 2 for 2 on the fight so far. Slappy, his ult still could continue to chase down onto Gavin. Will manage to let him run away, instead wanting to look for Shiny Too Good. As Ash, he has been slowed by the Iceborne Gauntlet by the Frozen Fist. Slappy, Mundo, really good at chasing and will pick up one extra on the back end. And now they haven't disengaged. Slappy doesn't have ult, but is still a Mundo and can tank quite a bit. Here comes Worstlock trying to make this a 2 for 2 on the whole. Slappy going to be running forward. Worstlock walking through Minefield, eats a ton of damage, but now TP's coming in from the Leroy. They're going to make it a 3 for 2. Gavi's going to day on meta shift. Probably should have just ran, but instead is going to get feared up, is going to get queued, is going to get chumped. Double kill for Worstlock and most likely Baron for Lamppost.
Yeah, and Meta is just stuck there, kind of trying to figure out what he wants to do. Now Hiroshi has to flash away, and this is starting to unravel. It looked like Vengeance had exactly for everything. I mean, JJ's ultimate was gorgeous. You could not have asked for any more of a better ultimate to really pick apart the side of Lamppost. But because he ends up falling, and the rest of the team, they're kind of like, okay, well, do we want to fight? Do we want to try and take this tower up here? And they're kind of stuck in like, all right, let's back away. Now let's actually try to take tower. Okay, let's try to fight. I'm gonna die. Meta, you go ahead and leave. And they're so discombobulated by everything. They end up falling. They end up losing to Baron. And because of it all, the lead that was starting to get cut down is now back to where it was previously.
Yep, and with those extra kills and the Baron picked up, it makes this upcoming Soul fight even easier. Only a minute 40 on that, they'll probably be able to pick up the bot outer tower, maybe an inner as well, as the Leroy isn't wanting to wait for that. He just one-shots Hiroshi, as that's that Vex damage coming through that we were ready to see. With his 2 items done, not quite sure on what builds are best for her yet. Don't know if you need Archangels. I personally would think Horizon Focus is a good second item, or just go for or standard at the gap. But with that pick, you do have a push on the mid inner. Slappy will easily claim the bot outer and a rotation from there. Keep getting towards bot side, pick up Dragon, maybe bot inner tower as well, and Lamppost continue to snowball their gold lead to approach 10,000.
Yep, and I do want to point out to anyone who does not know, Vex herself does not do any kind of unique attack. She throws out her shadow. That is quite literally the name of it, shadow. And because of it, it is a projectile on many fronts. So you can use the Yasuo as a good way to counter it. Wind Wall or a Shamira or something like that to really stop the Vex abilities. But when you don't have something like that, you have to put more respect because, well, we just saw what happens. Hiroshi, well, he doesn't have his first item yet. Like, he's nowhere close. He's not Build-A-Bear Workshop with his items, but you can see the damage output that really comes through when there's nothing to block or tank it up.
Yep, and now there is absolutely no way whatsoever for Vengeance to approach in the jungle. Leroy is zoning, so it will be Cloud Soul. Picked up for Lamppost. As I said earlier, not the most impactful, but things like Trundle, Mundo especially, even Lucian and Vex really like the extra move speed off of the ult just to chase people down or kite away even easier. So they will be pretty happy with that. Baron probably wearing off pretty soon. I don't see them getting in more towers with it, but it did its job. It got them very far up ahead and the soul. So Lamppost just now have the question of how they want to continue the game from here.
Yeah, and I do want to kind of take a look at the gold here for the Mumu. I mean, this is bad when you're looking at the gold. I'm not saying he's doing terribly with gold or anything like that, but like you're looking at the gold leads, it's so gigantic. Like you look at the bot lane in total, that gap should never be that wide, and it is very detrimental to an Ashe, to a Amumu, especially when you have to go against this terror bot lane of Lucian Nami. So this is not fun to see at all. If you ever see it, it's kind of a warning sign, like, all right, what do we do? So they really have to pick their next fights. They have to inch their way back in. They can't just say, we have to take this team fight right here, right now. They do that, they lose.
Yep, and now we see Lamp grouping up for the top tower. Flurry pushing him out, doesn't have TP quite yet, so maybe make a play, but it is very hard to go for. They will throw out the arrow though, but calling in, Gavin is just being forced to fight early, but JJ gets in the backline, will blow up Randy Newman, goes into the top post to try and keep himself alive, but now his cooldowns have been blown and he is trying to kite away. Flash from Mr. Unfortunate will finish him off. There comes the Vexel, flashes, but Slappy's too good, still flashes right into it, half HP gone immediately, make that a double kill. Now the reset, Gavin can't get away, Worstlock's tanking up the tower, Slappy tanking up the other one as meta shift is going to go down. Mr. Unfortunate claims that it will go down for his trouble, but it doesn't matter. It will be the ace for Lamppost, and I'm pretty sure they have enough time left on the death timers to close out the game.
Yeah, do you
maybe
have
not.
you have approximately 15 seconds before the biggest threat comes back online. Ashe is not going to be the issue here. It's going to be the cannon. So they are going to back away. They decide cannon a little scary. Don't want to try and take the risk. And it's really unfortunate because, and ironically enough, Mr. Unfortunate is on the other side. Like, it's unfortunate for Vengeance because their ADC has been practically irrelevant. His ultimates have connected, don't get me wrong, but other than that, he hasn't had a time to really shine and really that Ashe can do. So now it's kind of like a mysterious choice as to, all right, uh, do we ever want to choose this Ashe again? Because this is not pretty. This is not a pretty sight.
Yeah, and now Lamppost is just setting up around the Baron. No real way to contest. Vex is able to one-shot basically anyone against a full squishy team. Support of Mumu is your tankiest member. As we've seen from some of the World Games, he can get blown up just like anyone else. There's no real way to contest. Lamppost will probably just start Baron on spawn. Looks like they're coming in, but Vex is waiting in the wings for it. Two going to come over. Misses the abilities, actually, so doesn't get the fear. So that will keep him alive, but you still have to be careful about approaching this Baron pit.
Yeah, Leroy is doing a very good job on being that kind of flank. He's waiting for the Max of Doom to be up on him so that he can get this fear when it's needed. But I mean, look at Slappy. Slappy's not even afraid. He's baiting him.
Yeah, and here comes the Vexel going, and Leroy does manage to get a three-man fear, blows Gavin's ult immediately. JJ forced to kite back. Now the tidal wave coming on top of everyone, stopping in the middle of the team. Will eat the ult, doesn't go down quite yet. The Mundo healing just too much. There's no DPS. There is no one left alive. Ace comes through for Lamppost, cleans up the team fight with only Randy Newman for casualty, and they will take the game and claim sole second place in the Ruination division.
Yes, they will, and they came out with a big statement. And the Lucian Brundle was a menace. Mundo came online on in Vex, and this entire team comp, they played it very well. They made sure to let the entire division be on notice once again. Like, hey, we may be 4-3, but it doesn't matter. We're going to give you a fight of the ages, and it seems like they want to try and instill some kind of fear into the reigning 6-0 or 7-0 now champs of the division.
Yep, and with the standings clarified a little bit more, the race for third place in the division just got very tight with, I believe, 2 teams at 2 and 5 and 2 at 3 and 4. So it's going to be exciting in the next coming weeks to figure out what'll happen. In the meantime, though, we are done with this week's stream for Ruination Division. Tomorrow will be the Seiko special, so you have that to look forward to, and the Sentinel Division will be finishing up Thursday. So thank you all for coming and have an excellent night.
Bye bye.